Big East. They were charter members of the Big East back in 1979. 114th all-time meeting, first meeting in 6 years. Our officials tonight, Michael Lucky, Vasily Malios, and Mike Fleury. Providence in the white jerseys wins the opening tip and has it on offense. Providence has 7 scholarship players tonight, 2 walk-ons. So they have 9 available players, 7 scholarship players, 2 walk-ons. In addition to Carter, Rich Barron, an all-freshman team player, is out with an injury.
Well, here's the question right now in this first possession. Where's Providence going to go get a quick bucket?
Here's Oduro, had the ball ripped away, and instead it's into the corner with 2 on the shot clock. They'll get a shot up at the buzzer that is an air ball, and it is a shot clock violation to start the game.
In most instances, always, it was Devin Carter found a way to get a shot off. That's where Duell and company, they just need to be aggressive and go look to the rim.
Boston College, an experienced starting lineup with 4 double-figure scores. We talked about post. Jaden Zachary, Claudell Harris, and Devin McClockton, all double-figure scores as well. This is Zachary down low for wide-open McClockton, who lays it up and in.
This is what Jaden Zachary has done, especially in the ACC tournament, really running this offense efficiently, getting into the gaps, finding the open man.
Providence down 2 starters tonight, Barron and Carter. Stepping in, Corey Floyd along with Garway Dual. Here's Floyd for 3, and it's rebounded by Madsen. Inside for McClockton as BC comes in. Quick 3 from Madsen. Offensive rebound for Post, had it ripped away by Oduro.
See that matchup already. Those 2 guys are going to bang all night long. Got to put a body on Post, down on the low post on rebounds.
Providence finished up 10-10 in the Big East, tied for 6th place. As it's a 3 from the corner for Ticket Gaines, and it's a little bit long. It's rebounded on the weak side by Oduro. Backing his way in. To the middle, hook shot is up, and rebounded by Madsen.
Throw the ball into Oduro, though. Providence needs to get a little movement on the outside so he has an option to find somebody that's open. He's a very good passer.
Post feeds it for Zachary. And the rebound brought down by Floyd. So low scoring start to this game. Both teams struggling on offense thus far. Here's Jaden Pierre down the lane, lays it up and in.
Good job by Jaden Pierre. Now, BC is a very good offensive team, but they can be had on the defensive end of the floor. Providence needs to get the rebounds, and they have to look to push it so they don't have to play in a half court.
Zachary is fouled.
Well, Jaden Pierre certainly has the capability to go get 20 or more points tonight. He's got to just put his head down and make things happen. He's used to running the team and having Carter next to him. It's going to take a few minutes of this game just to get used to not having Carter out there as an outlet to go get a bucket at the end of the clock.
Baseline jumper off the inbounds is up and in for Claudell Harris Jr.
Claudell Harris, red hot down in Washington last week in the ACC tournament. You have to make him put it on the deck, get tight on the jumper.
Averaged 18 a game in 3 games down there, including 27 in a big win over Clemson in the 2nd round. Pierre to the rim. Knocked away, gets it back. Still 10 on the shot clock. Ball's kicked. Ball's kicked.
The guy that Providence can look to go get buckets is Ticket Gaines. Clearly he likes to anchor in that corner, but he does have the ability to elevate and use his athleticism to get to the rim and score.
Lob it out top for Oduro. Just about 3 minutes into the game. Oduro to Gaines, who missed the 3, and it's rebounded again by Madsen.
Good look, though. Providence needs to keep going through Oduro. He's a smart player. He will find the open man.
Wide open in the corner, McClockton, a 3. Post knocks it out of bounds. So the bad news for Providence is that the Big East Player of the Year is not playing in his 20 points a game, the leading scorer in the league, and Rich Barron is out. But the good news, if you're a player for Providence, obviously you love playing with those guys, but there's more shots and playing time to go around for the other guys.
Tim English spoke to that yesterday, and that's the way you have to look at it. There's no other way. Here a lob over the top. Just a little bit deep. But BC's doing a good job in the half court. BC played much better defense. They lost to Pittsburgh in late February, and they got buried at home. And they kind of had, it was an awakening. We've got to play defense or else the season's going to be lost. They did. They've responded. They did well in DC. They look good so far tonight.
Post, great position, but came up short. It's rebounded by Oduro. BC was 8-12 in the ACC this year, 11th place out of 15 teams. They've won 4 of their last 5 and had a good run, as you said, in DC. A couple of wins down there, and then lost to Virginia in overtime in the quarterfinals. Oduro, fade away, knocks it down.
Throwing into Oduro will create space on the outside. That time BC looked like they might send the double. They let Post man up on him down low. Nice fadeaway.
BC was pretty much its full complement of players tonight as McLaughlin scores again. Really no major injury issues other than Chaz Kelly, who's missed the last 7 games for the Eagles.
Well, BC's hard to defend because they have a lot of balance. Obviously, it starts with Post, but they have a group of guys that can score in different ways. Good play on a Post on the outside by Post.
Matson lays it in. Good job by Post, as you said. All defensive team selection in the ACC.
Got the quick hands for a big guy. There's not much you can say negative about Quentin Post. That time out on the perimeter, helping defend, create the steal, turnover basket.
In addition to all defensive team, Quentin Post, 2nd team all ACC, 5th-year grad student from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Quickly moving game so far. Very few stops in play to this point. Floyd down the lane, lace it up and in.
Good job by Corey Floyd. And finding that alley to the rim. Look at Quentin Post again. You try to break down his game. A scouting report. There's not many weaknesses. Tremendous shooter from the outside, passer, smart, rebounder, defender.
Muscles his way to the rim, and the 7-footer couldn't convert it. It's rebounded by Ticket Gaines. Dual all alone for 3. Oduro taps it back out to Pierre.
BC will lay off Dual. He's not a good shooter from the perimeter.
Here's Oduro. George Mason transfer. Came with his coach, Kim English, from George Mason. Banks it in.
Well, you wonder how you're going to react in the NIT. Providence disappointed. BC, late surge. Very fired up to be here. But without Carter, you say, what are we going to do? How are we going to react? Well, this home crowd's pretty solid tonight. Providence playing solid early out of the gate.
Good turnout here. On a quick notice, they just found out Sunday night they were hosting. It's Tuesday night, and a good turnout here at Amica Mutual Pavilion. A long stretch of uninterrupted play here with 3 on the shot clock. Harris off the mark, rebounded by Floyd. Runs into the much larger post and kicks it out for an Oduro 3. And it is Dual with the rebound in the corner. On about 3 or 4 minutes without a stop in play here. 3 from the corner again, and a foul. Matson, the foul is first, will send us to a time.
Right direction for sure.
They did try the wider lane back in 2019, didn't adopt it. They're going to see how it works this year as Ticket Gaines goes to the line for 3 shots.
You're talking to a guy who lived through the day when the Big East went to 6 fouls one year, and that was a bloodbath for sure. That didn't last very long. A lot of knockouts, rather.
Yeah, physical play was embraced, celebrated even. It's back when the NBA games were 85-80 back in the day with the Knicks.
The ribs were sore after about every game. Not the coaches, but the players. And the officials, I don't think, liked it either.
Ticket Gaines makes all 3 free throws. 5th-year grad student from Buffalo, also in his first year at Providence after 2 years at George Mason. Again, Providence playing without Devin Carter, the Big East Player of the Year tonight. They have 7 scholarship players. Very energetic on defense right now. You see Kim English exhorting his team over on the sideline.
Providence getting after it right now. They've got Ticket Gaines guarding Quentin Post.
They lob it down low for Post. He has it knocked away. He gets it back with 3 on the shot clock. He's fouled.
So you might say, why doesn't Kim English have Josh Oduro on from the outside, but he doesn't have to really worry about him too much?
Post had a huge performance in 3 games down at the ACC tournament in DC. He was all tournament team. 30-13 against Miami in the first round. And then in the quarterfinals against UVA, 23-13.
A game where they led for most of that game and lost in overtime. Just tough plays down the stretch.
Now, Ticket Gaines has 2 fouls. Again, Providence only has 2 scholarship players coming off the bench. So Ticket Gaines stays in the game with those 2 fouls.
Donovan Santoro in the game now, number 2, and he has rarely played this season.
That's an understatement. He's only played in 2 of the last 16 games. Donovan Santoro, number 2, and in those 2 games, he played a total of 4 minutes. So this is a player who almost never plays, and he's going to get a lot of playing time tonight.
Called by the officials. Post had his hands right on Oduro's back. And it's a great matchup to watch all night long because Oduro's trying to take him outside off the dribble.
Long 3 for Pierre. And the rebound volley to Donald Hand Jr., who's checked into the game. Redshirt freshman, averages 5 points in 15 minutes a game. Both teams struggling to shoot the 3 so far. Here's Post driving towards the basket. Banks it off glass and in.
Well, tough shot. That's why Post is so hard to defend. Oduro was right with him step for step. He had the pressure from the outside because he can make that shot, but the ability and footwork to put it on the deck.
Oduro in the lane. From the corner again, Pierre. This time he knocks it down.
Good job by Corey Floyd, just keeping his dribble alive down low. He had nowhere to go, but he kept his dribble alive, kept his head up, and found Floyd in the corner.
Pierre, a big factor in that Big East tournament. 15 against Creighton, and then 16 against Marquette. Here's a steal. Ticket Gaines racing in for the jam.
Well, Devin Carter's not on the floor, but that's, and if they're available on the perimeter, if they double.
Oduro played 4 years at George Mason. First team All-Atlantic 10 each of the last 2 years. An honorable mention All Big East this season. Averaged 16 and 7 for the Friars. He's guarding Post. Another new face into the game for BC, Prince Aligbe, number 10. As Harris's jumper's off the mark, it's rebounded by Dua.
Gaines on the bench now with 2 fouls. Kimming was trying to protect him. He really has to be careful. The rotations. Now Oduro's picking one up.
First on Oduro with the moving screen.
That's where it's hard to protect your player. You can do what you can on the defensive end of the floor, but gotta be smart offensively. He's so aggressive, used to setting that ball screen on the perimeter. Keep an eye on Dual. He's limping out here on the floor.
And Providence can ill afford, I mean, just from a number standpoint, to have another player get hurt. 4th turnover of the game for the Friars, who are 1 out of 8 from 3-point range. BC's 0 for 3. Madsen, the mid-range jumper.
Ball screen at the foul line. BC does a good job. When BC moves the ball from side to side, they're very dangerous because they have a lot of options. Madsen is not afraid to put the ball on the deck. That mid-range game is there for him.
Dual is noticeably limping for Providence, number 3. As it's turned over, Madsen's got it. The baseline runner for Hand, and it's tipped up and in by Post. Timeout, Providence.
Knee in the thigh. Stayed in there. His length is so important defensively. He's not really a great offensive player, but he can make things happen in transition off the bounce. And Pierre and Floyd really have to be aggressive here in the half court for Providence to be able to score.
So Rafael Castro checks into the game, a 3rd-year sophomore. As the shot is off the mark, but tipped up and in by Castro.
You see that length and ability, Castro. Not much there as far as width, but the ability to go get something out of his area.
Hadn't scored a point since March 2nd against Villanova 5 games ago. Comes off the bench and scores immediately as the rebound is corralled by Pierre.
Good job by BC on the retreat, getting the defense organized.
Here's Pierre, mid-range jumper. Ooh, didn't get the roll, and it's rebounded by Aligbe.
Good job, though, by Pierre. Found a little space, went off 2 feet down the middle of the floor.
Aligbe foul.
On a 3 seed this year, I believe, and a little bit of a sleeper. No, we're talking about the Huskies.
When was the last time we said that? McLaughlin, the open three, knocks it down.
We said that earlier. You have to get out and play him. He's not a guy that's going to burn you from the three-point line, but you see he's got good ability out there. He's got a good, strong shot. You've got to get up in his face, just make him put the ball on the floor.
In ACC play, he shot 62% this year, which was first in the league. Third-year sophomore from north of Atlanta. Knocked out to Floyd, who knocks down the three to answer.
Again, though, started by Oduro. Tried to put the ball on the deck, loose a little bit, but just has that sense to find the open man on the perimeter. That's why Providence has to move when Oduro has the ball.
Both teams have heated up after slow offensive starts. Hand mid-range jumper. Pierre the rebound. Friars will run. Oduro guarded by Armani Mighty, who's in the game, number 2. Pierre down the lane, scoops it up and in.
And that's what Providence has to do. They have to go through Oduro, whether it's down the low box, that mid-post, or out in the perimeter with the dribble handoffs. That will create openings for Pierre and Floyd.
Post out of the game right now, getting a breather. Oh, had Madsen cutting to the rim there, couldn't get it to him now. Hounded, hands it off for Zachary. And a push off on Mighty. Will send us to near Newark Airport. And Pierre's going to get a lot of playing time here tonight with Providence down a couple of key contributors. Only 7 scholarship players for the Friars here. Unfazed so far, up by 4. Pierre with 7, Gaines and Floyd each with 5. Oduro, baseline jumper. Strong rebound by Claudel Harris.
Post back in the game, bumping Oduro down low, using that big body. Now they're going to look probably to throw it into him to see what the mismatch is if Gaines is guarding post.
Harris, step back 3 is good.
You mentioned it, Robert, just on fire, continuing from what he did in DC. Quick release over the top.
Averaging over 10 three-point attempts per game in his last 5. Pierre with the answer, 10 points for Jaden Pierre.
Big strong screen at the top by Oduro, and BC went underneath. They didn't give any help on that ball screen. Pierre, easy one.
Madsen blocked by Gaines, but out of bounds was Santoro when he corralled the loose ball.
Here on the ball screen, the big screen at the top by Oduro, and post is playing drop coverage. No one came up to protect the line.
Boston College's best wins this year over Clemson in the ACC tournament, beat St. John's, another Big East school, beat Richmond. They were 8-12 in the ACC, but they finished ahead of 4 teams in the league standings. Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Miami, and Louisville, and 7 of their 8 wins were against those 4 teams. So they kind of reverted to the mean. They beat the teams below them. They lost to most of the teams ahead of them, but finished the season strong, winning 4 out of 5. They're going to have their first winning season in 6 years. 13 wins in his first season to 16, then to 19. Another foul on post. It'll be his 3rd foul of the game. He picked up 2 fouls in about 3 seconds. So he's going to have to go to the bench now with 3 fouls. A huge call there against Post.
That's not smart by Quentin Post. I mean, you're a 5th-year player. You must know the situation. Your coach is only leaving you in the game because he trusts you that you're going to be smart enough not to make a play like that. It's one thing to make, an offensive foul. You're trying to get to the rim down the other end, but to foul a good player 22 feet from the basket, that's unacceptable.
So Elijah Strong, a freshman from Charlotte, who plays about 6 minutes a game, comes in. Here's the open 3 for Pierre, way off the mark. Offensive rebound, though, for Floyd. He'll shoot the 3. And McLaughlin swoops in for the board. Harris, free throw line jumper. Claudel Harris with 7 points.
Corey Floyd can't play any better defense, but Claudel Harris is a tough out. He's 6'3", he's got that length, and then he creates off the bounce with that step back to give him a little space.
First year at BC for Harris, played 2 years at Charleston Southern, was second team All-Big South last year, averaged 17 a game. Pierre is the game's high scorer so far. He blows past Matson, takes it to the rim, and then turns it over. Here's Harris on the run. Stop and pop for three. Long rebound knocked out of bounds by McLaughlin.
Well, Harris is one of those guys, he makes a couple early. They start feeding him because he's starting to feel it. You saw it there. His eyes lit up in transition, just rushed it just a bit. But he's a big momentum player. He likes the big moment. And if he's feeling it, they're going to go to him on the perimeter when the game's on the line.
Harris with those 7 points tonight. Now 1,299 career points. So his next point will put him over 1,300. He is a junior from Louisiana, near New Orleans. Inside for Oduro, who somehow missed the layup around the world. It's rebounded by McLaughlin.
He can't believe that was such a perfectly executed back screen. Came down on the pin down, had the angle and everything, just couldn't buy it.
All the way around and out. Oh, tough step back three for Madsen. Difficult shot. Oduro the rebound.
That's not a good shot. They need Zachary to settle them down. He can go get points himself. They're going to need Zachary to be active as a scorer now, especially with post out for the rest of the half.
Knocked away from Pierre. Eagles with numbers 3-on-1. Zachary leaves it for Strong, who lays it up and in.
Good job in transition, taking advantage. Jaden Pierre just loose change with the ball. He had Gaines in the corner wide open. BC helped off Games, driving kick to the corner. Instead, he put his head down, over dribbling.
See those huge turnover numbers, 7-1 in favor of BC and 10-2 in favor of points off of turnovers. Oduro runs over man and a blocking foul.
Terry is, and when you listen to the chairman, they can always say why teams are in and why teams are out, but everyone's got warts, and I just love to see more basketball people on the committee that actually watch the games, because you hear some of these answers, they obviously didn't watch the games, some of these committee members.
Harris tried the tomahawk jam there as BC's got the ball. McLaughlin blocked out of bounds by Duval, who's back in the game after being injured earlier. One of the points that Coach English was making very calmly in his, talk about the analytics was that, as you take a look back at Duval's nice play, was that it seems like winning by a lot is really rewarded in this net ranking. And he said, we had some games we were up by 25, we put the reserves, the walk-ons in, and we maybe won by 15. Should we keep trying to make it 35? I don't know. It doesn't seem right.
If it gets to that, which it may be already, which we don't know, that's ridiculous. That is fraudulent. So let's just hope there's a better system next year as Providence runs up and down the floor. And Castro, rim running, getting big, taking advantage of post on the bench.
6'11", sophomore, averages 3 points a game. He's already got 4.
The great thing, though, Robert, is tonight we're playing games here. We're playing in the first 4, and all that gets put in the rearview mirror and hopefully gets talked about in the summer and the spring, and they can figure it out better.
And these teams are playing hard tonight. Good effort by McLaughlin, who's got 9 points early for the Eagles.
Castro came over to help. He's got to make sure he puts a body on McLaughlin. He can't come over and just be in the neighborhood. If you're going to help, come over and block the shot. But that time he left him free for the offensive rebound.
Here's Duval, who was a very highly sought-after recruit. Coach English's first move after getting the job was flying to Los Angeles to make sure Duval was still in the fold. Look for him to be an impact player. Castro, 6 points.
Corey Floyd, though, nice delivery. Castro sliding into that open area. The help came over. No one rotated down. Castro, big minutes so far.
Played 2 games in the Big East tournament, played 16 minutes total and did not score. So already got 6 points here tonight. Harris trying to carve out space, forces it off the right side of the rim. Castro, the rebound.
He's one of those guys. Kim English said, listen, you want to play more, you're going to get that opportunity. He's making the most of it.
Harris, great effort, knocking it away and then diving for the ball.
Rafael Castro, you've got to be able to slide in the open area. Here, Strong comes over for the help, and Hand comes over for the help, and no one rotates back down. And that all starts with the dribble penetration. BC's got to be careful, though, because PC's trying to get into the gaps, and they're looking to dish. And that helps. As soon as that help comes, the bigs are doing a nice job of sliding into that open area. You can't leave your man. You must be able to wait and see if the offensive player is going to look to score. Then you can come over and maybe protect the rim.
Fresh 30 on the clock. Also keep in mind that one of Boston College's best defensive players, Quentin Post, in fact an all defensive player for the ACC, is out with 3 fouls. And has been for about 3 or 4 minutes. But BC has hung in there without their top player.
BC doing a lot of switching on the perimeter.
Gains 3. Rebound tap to Madsen. Madsen with 4 boards already. These two schools, former conference rivals. Alley-oop, McLaughlin. He's into double figures.
Well, Mason Madsen makes those little plays that don't show up in a box score. He moves so well without the ball. Aggressive defensive player gets out in transition. That time, perfect delivery over the top.
Madsen, a senior, a transfer from Cincinnati, 2nd year at BC. Final minute of the first half. It's been closely played. Neither team has led by more than 4. Oduro tees up a long 3. Harris, the rebound. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Good closeout by McLaughlin on Oduro on the perimeter. He's doing a good job in absence of Post being physical in the paint with Oduro.
13 to shoot, 19 on the game clock. Harris down the lane and foul. Very few fouls or free throws in this game. In fact, only 5 free throws total so far.
Off the bounce, and Harris, you've got to play him tight because you know he can knock down shots, but good job by him taking advantage of the ball on the deck. He's been an evolving player all season long for.
And the Eagles be playing. We finished strong. We're playing our best at the end of the season.
When you're building your program year 3, you want to take the next step. Obviously, you want it to be the big dance, but this is the next step for BC to keep moving in the right direction with their program.
Providence can hold for the last shot. BC, as you see, hasn't played in the postseason in 6 years, which was an NIT bid. They haven't been to the big tournament since '09. 3 seconds left. Out of bounds with 9/10 of a second left to BC. Zachary snuffs out Pierre.
Jaden Zachary really is giving Jaden Pierre a lot of trouble on the perimeter. Pierre right now is fooling around with the dribble. He's got to try to go by him, but the strength in this veteran play of Zachary is bothering Pierre on the outside. He's forcing him to the sideline, not allowing him to dribble penetrate into the gaps.
Gaines goes out with his 2 fouls. They will not take a shot here in the final second, and BC goes into the half with the lead, 10-2 when leading at the half this season. That's neither team shot the ball particularly well from beyond the arc with those turnovers. A huge problem for Providence. 9 turnovers led to 10 BC points. And one of the big keys for BC in that first half, Quentin Post had 3 fouls. When he picked up his 3rd foul, he went out of the game. They were down by 4. They won the rest of the half by 5.
They were solid. They've got solid players. You know, they're not in this tournament. They didn't win in the ACC just because of one player, but Post is very important to keep him on the floor in the second half.
He's back out there with 3 fouls, and the post feed is immediately stolen away by Oduro. McLaughlin with 11 points in that first half. Pierre had 10. Also for BC, Claudell Harris had 8. Post was 6. Good passing. Ticket Gaines, wide open 3. Long rebound to Pierre. Mid-range jumper. And the board, Claudell Harris.
Good offensive movement by Providence, everything but putting it down. And BC methodical, see if they get Post involved. Not a good pass inside.
Post almost fouled on the loose ball, which would have been his 4th. He's playing with 3 fouls. Dual awkwardly under the basket. Post just cannot go in and try to get that ball. It's just not worth it at this point. Oduro wide open 3. Out of bounds to the Eagles.
Oduro was open on the perimeter. No one was within 10 paces of him, but he He's 3 feet beyond the line. He needs to step up in that situation. And good job by Duell just fighting inside, but he's got to make sure he doesn't dribble into traffic.
These two schools used to play all the time in the old Big East. 114th all-time meeting, separated by an hour here in New England. The two campuses, as McLaughlin will go to the line. BC left the Big East back in 2005 to join the ACC.
Good job on that side pick and roll. BC would be well served to go through McLaughlin a little bit, just kind of as a diversion to post. BC's putting a lot of emphasis on post. Good job not over helping on the inside, but McLaughlin is a guy that can make plays in the lane and around the rim.
Third foul on ticket games. So he is the first Providence player with 3 fouls. McLaughlin up to a game-high 13 points. There were 7 ties and 6 lead changes in a back-and-forth first half. Neither team led by more than 4. In front of a good crowd on a Tuesday night here. First round of the NIT. Tournament started way back in 1938. This is the 86th edition of the NIT as Pierre knocks down the 3.
That's what Pierre needs to do a little bit. Move without the ball. Too much over-dribbling in the first half with all the turnovers, but you see he's got good form and confidence from outside.
Ties the game. Nice action to McLaughlin. Met at the rim. Turned away, and a foul.
Good ball movement, good spacing, and this is what Orduro does on the dribble handoff. No one comes out, and BC gets a little bit confused on that perimeter, but you see Duell screens Harris down on that wing, and no one rotated up on Pierre.
Providence making its first NIT appearance in 5 years, made the tournament, the NCAA tournament, each of the last 2 years, including a Sweet 16 back in 2022. Lost in the first round last year. Here's Orduro. Nifty move, couldn't finish it. That on the rebound, Matson.
Well, interesting, Orduro had an angle to the rim, and Post was ready to let him go, but he decided to pull back up. Post is being careful with those 3 fouls.
Inside for Post, and he's fouled. He's fouled by Pierre. It's his first.
The early whistle cooking here, Robert, in the second half. Got the 6 fouls already whistled, but teams are grabbing. Teams are getting behind on the pick and roll, on the dribble handoff, and on those back cuts at the rim.
Only 7 total free throws in that first half, and 11 total fouls. As you said, already 6. Or 3 fouls, I should say, here in the second half. As Zachary scoops it up and in for his first 2 of the game.
Jade Zachary's a good player. He's smart, he's physical, he moves well without the ball. He doesn't try to overdo things. That time found an angle on that dribble handoff right to the rim.
Now, we talked about the rule changes in the first half, the wider lane. The other kind of procedural rule change is that the quote-unquote media timeouts, instead of being at 16, 12, 8, and 4, will be at 17, 14, 11, 8, and 4. If you can follow me there. But basically, we are now in a media timeout zone because it's under 17 minutes to go. So instead of that floater where the first team called timeout becomes a full timeout, that is abolished, and the next dead ball will become a media timeout.
Well, that was a good move by Earl Grant, coaching-wise. That was a bad play by Zachary, just throwing it away. No, he hasn't done that all night long.
Leads to an easy bucket for Duell.
Well, Boston College on that previous possession against Providence, defensively, they went to the zone. You'll see a lot of that now, just to protect Post for a few minutes, give him a few minutes, and then he can become more aggressive in the defense with the 3 fouls.
Another turnover and a foul. Will send us to a timeout. Timeouts within like 5 or 10 seconds on 2 consecutive dead balls.
See, this is why you should have been helping out at the Super Bowl, because I didn't know what the rules were for the overtime. The Super Bowl wasn't explained quite as well as you just did, Robert, with that one. But with all due respect to our CBS brothers.
Floyd missed the 3, so at the 14-minute mark, or right around it, there will be another timeout. But the first time a coach calls a timeout this half, it will not go to a full timeout that we take a commercial for.
The fans absolutely don't know that that's going on, but the coach is better. Right. That's the key. The coaches and their assistants. But both these coaches have done a really good job preparing these two teams to be ready to play tonight.
Yeah.
And that's always maybe a case in the NIT of a question: are you going to be ready to give your best? And both teams is pretty well played. Some sloppy turnovers. Providence has done a real good job on Quinton Post.
Floating jumper by Harris is rebounded by Floyd, pushes it up the court for Ticket Gaines. His actual name is Devontae. He was nicknamed the Big Ticket his senior year in high school. It stuck. Turnover. Both teams struggling with turnovers a bit in the second half. BC only turned it over twice in the first half. They've already turned it over 4 times here in the second half.
Well, BC's very efficient offensively. When you watch them over the course of the season, the games that they've played well against the upper part of the ACC, they did a good job moving the ball side to side, sharing it, good ball control, and going through post. And that was getting post available tonight because Oduro's done such a good job.
Only 6 points for Post, trying to add to that total here. Playing with 3 fouls. Had the ball knocked away, gets it back. Puts it up and in.
Good job just taking his time down low. He's really hard to double or crowd down in the box because he's so unselfish and a very, very good passer.
Started his career at Mississippi State, played a couple years there. 3rd year at BC, over 1,200 career points. And gives the Eagles the lead. Nice feed to Oduro, he's fouled.
Well, Quinton Post done a good job this half, just staying available, not getting that 4th foul. And to see him go to work a little bit more on the offensive end, he's just getting used to being banged around by Oduro. It's been a really good matchup on. And that last possession, Oduro did a good job, just the quick short roll, that mid roll down into the lane, and he's got such good hands and feet that he can catch it in traffic and elevate to get fouled.
Oduro has been quiet tonight, 2 out of 9 from the field. Averages 16 a game, which is 9th in the Big East. Maybe these free throws can get him going. 5th-year grad student from Gainesville, Virginia, DC area. Over 1,900 career points between 4 years at George Mason and now 1 year at Providence.
Just a tremendous pickup. Kim English, he knew what he had. He had coached him before, and he's brought everything to this program plus in this 1 year.
Huge screen from Post. Pierre looks none the worse for wear. Madsen falls to the ground and travels. And you talked about Kim English in his 1st year here at Providence. You were a head coach here for 10 years, and you know how Friartown loves the Friars, but Coach English is actually the youngest high major coach in the country. He's a year younger than John Shire of Duke, just 35 years old, has a bright future.
Well, watching him operate from day one, obviously a lot of pressure, taking over a program that was highly successful under Ed Cooley and left him a lot of good players, but he had to fill in some spots, and now with the injuries, he's just handled everything so well. And just even being prepared tonight to play in this game was an effort with the 7 players.
And a foul should be called against Madsen. It'll be his 3rd. Not only is Devin Carter out, don't forget Bryce Hopkins, who was 1st team All Big East last year, tore his ACL back in early January. He was averaging 15 and 9 at the time.
Wooden Award preseason nominee. People forget, with Devin Carter having such a special year, that Bryce Hopkins was the guy that was 1st team preseason All Big East.
All right. Oduro into Post, who has 3 fouls. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 14 minutes to go, so there is another media timeout coming up once we get under 14 minutes in a dead ball. Pierre, he got it.
That was a very good defensive set, though, by BC. Harris went down, dug the ball out of the box. Oduro passed it back out. Really, there was nothing there. Zachary just backed off just a touch on Pierre. He made it pay.
Jaden Pierre having a big game here, 1 short of his career high with 16 points. Zachary kicks it out for Post. Harris with the answer from the corner. Both teams just playing so closely together.
I mean, that was up in his face. Pierre was right there on the catch. He might have been a little bit flat-footed on the contest, but Harris doesn't need much room to operate.
Each time one team scores, the other team answers. Neither team is led by more than 4 points. We're 27 minutes into the game. And a foul. Not all the teams that opted out of the NIT decided not to play. Providence decided to play, and for a guy, a sophomore like Pierre, this experience is terrific.
Well, I don't think Providence blinked at that, and good for them and BC. You know, a lot of teams did for different reasons. Everyone can do what they want to do, but these players tonight are playing just as hard as they would in the middle of the season. And good crowd here. It's basketball. That's why you go. That's why you go to college, to play Division I basketball, play more games, and this one means something. You can see these guys are playing very hard. Look at Zachary, right zoned in on Pierre.
Crowd of over 6,500 here on a Tuesday night. Pierre, career high 18 points.
Oh, great job. He tried to go into post to draw a little contact, but then he saw post backed away a little bit, then kept his dribble alive, used the rim as a protector.
Providence retakes the lead in what's been a terrific, closely played game. Post still playing with 3 fouls, but has been fairly quiet offensively. Oduro's all over him. 6 on the shot clock. To a cutting hand, lost the ball. Post gets it back with 2 to shoot. Post reverse layups up and in.
What a job by Quentin Post. You know, this is why he's a special player. Just didn't let anything bother him. He got bumped a couple times by Oduro. He's had a rough night at times because of the foul trouble, but stayed with the play.
Ties it up again. 12th tie of the game. Ticket Gaines is fouled.
Watch Quentin Post. You know, he just doesn't give up on the play. He could have been frustrated. Pass inside, got deflected a little bit, got bumped around. Oduro's doing a good job protecting. They come over with the second defender, but he's just so skilled at the rim, so smart, crafty, experienced.
Something to keep an eye on. Providence now into the bonus with 12 minutes to go. So they'll shoot free throws for the rest of the game. An advantage with Providence only having 2 team fouls. Nice move by Oduro.
These two going back and forth and back and forth. And again, there was nothing there, but Oduro reverse pivoting in the lane like a guard.
Hand mid-range jumper. Pierre the rebound. Pierre attacking. Kicks it for a cutting Oduro, who missed the layup. Rebounded by Post.
Good job by Post. He presented his body at the rim without fouling. Oduro made Oduro just enough to short arm and at the rim and miss.
Short jumper may have been blocked off the hands of a league bag.
Again, a good job on the inside. These bigs are doing a good job of getting big at the rim without fouling.
Floyd's quick 3. You just see it in his eyes. He wanted to shoot that ball. Under 11 minutes, another media timeout coming up at the next dead ball. Experimental rules here in the NIT. Zachary is fouled. That'll send us to a break. Close game. Providence leads it by 2 here in Friartown.
Quentin Post, he'll set that side ball screen, he'll set that ghost screen. He does a good job of picking and popping at the top. He's trying to be physical in the lane and post up with his back to the basket. And it's the same thing down at the other end. Both coaches really running a lot of offense through these guys, and I would expect even more. Post has done a good job of protecting his body. He's been physical at the rim. It's not like he's letting guys just go by him and score. He's presenting resistance, but he's getting big. He's strong with his hands straight up in the air. He's not fouling. He's getting his body into it, which has prevented Providence from having free lanes to the rim.
How much IQ and smarts does it take to play like that without fouling?
Well, a lot, because you know the other team is going right at you, and Providence has, but he's done a good job of not picking up that 4th foul. Now Earl Grant's giving him some time off here before the next TD timeout.
Harris, and the rebound to Castro, who played well in that first half.
cat and mouse. Robert, just as we said, both coaches looking to go to these guys. Now they're both giving them rests at the same time. Oduro's also on the bench.
Castro in that first half, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Here's Floyd. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Contested 3. Pierre. Aligbe the rebound.
Good D by Boston College. Did a lot of switching on the perimeter, preventing the open look from Pierre.
Here's Aligbe. Eagles will reset with 12 on the shot clock. This is Armani Mighty. It must be noted that BC has front court reserves named Mighty and Strong. Mighty the rebound. And a foul. I live in Albany, Iowa, LSU, and South Carolina. If they win the first 2 rounds, are all on track to converge on MVP Arena. The other day I looked, tickets in the lower bowl are going for $800.
That might be the Caitlin Clark factor, or
yes.
I think combined with the popularity of the game as well. They've done a really good job. Just players around the country, the coaching's better. ESPN does an unbelievable job with the tournament, promoting it, covering it.
Should be a fantastic tournament, and certainly a lot of star power over on the women's side. We're here in the first round of the NIT. 86th edition. North Texas was the champion last year. They're back in the field this year. Harris, mid-range jumper, and rebounded by Jaden Pierre. Pierre all the way to the basket. He's fouled. And that will be free throws coming up, and Pierre a little slow to get up.
Pierre's done a very good job in the second half. We talked about running the team, not over dribbling, and here he just gets twisted up with Harris at the rim and took a hard one.
He's a little gimpy heading back to the free throw line. Keep in mind, Devin Carter, the Big East Player of the Year, not playing tonight. Kind of some lingering injuries for Providence. They referred to him as day-to-day, so if Providence does advance, and the winner of this game will play Princeton or UNLV on either Saturday or Sunday, it is possible Carter could come back to play. Also, Rich Barron, a freshman, Big East all-freshman team, out tonight as well.
2 bigs back in the game. Post and Oduro. Both teams struggled to score in the half court without their bigs in the game.
Well, Pierre is really hobbling as he runs up the floor. He just missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Here's Post, second team All-ACC. Banging with Oduro. Lefty hook goes.
Again, you gotta try to give him a little support, especially when he puts the ball on the floor. He starts backing his man in. That's when you know he's going to score. But good defense, better offense, the soft touch.
Another tie in this game. Oduro and Post, marquee matchup. They double Oduro. Providence offense going nowhere right now as Floyd drives to the rim, rejected by McClockton. Eagles on the run, Donald Hand across midcourt.
That was one of their best defensive sets. The double and then the recovery on the perimeter.
Post couldn't finish with the left hand, rebounded by Oduro. Post wanted the call. Both teams still with plenty of timeouts left. There is a media stoppage coming up at the next dead ball. Gaines is fouled, and I think it's on Post. Wrong place at the wrong time, could be his 4th foul. Actually a 44% three-point shooter. He hasn't attempted one tonight, but he's the top three-point shooter on the team.
Well, there's nothing has been there. Providence has done a good job, whether it's Oduro or Gaines, on the catch. They've been right on him. They've been really up in him. They've been physical with him on the perimeter and dared him to put the ball on the floor. And he's done a pretty good job, but at times BC's not spaced properly, and he hasn't had much room to go to operate, to get down and use that footwork to get to the rim.
Gaines had not scored since early in the first half. Makes 2 to give the Friars the lead. BC's made only one of their last 8 shots. And once again trail by 2. First round of the NIT, 7.5 minutes to go here in Providence.
McLaughlin's got to step up without posting the game. He's got to try to make some plays in the lane.
Now he'll shoot a long 2, and the rebound is knocked away by McLaughlin. Good hustle.
He makes those type of plays. That's got to continue. And then Madsen is always the X factor. Moving without the ball, finding a way.
I say this in the most respectful way possible. He looks like a guy at the YMCA. He's got the game, he's got the look. He's also very effective.
He's hard to guard because he's constant motion and he knows how to play. He's smart. He doesn't try to do too much.
He's got 6 points in the game after that nice scoop shot. Knocked out of bounds, stays with Providence.
Well, it looked like Providence had it, but staying with the play. McLaughlin, good job. He took that shot in the corner, but stayed with it. And then Madsen, little crossover, head fake, and Oduro there, no one to protect.
Quick 3 off the inbounds for Gaines, and it's Madsen with another rebound.
That's Gaines' shot. It just hasn't been on for him tonight, but again, BC, good job on the glass, trying to push up.
Here's Strong. Foul. Called on Castro to be his 3rd. Crowd doesn't like the call. It'll put Strong at the line. 3rd on Castro.
Castro will take up the load here in the paint. Just got him across the wrist. Good call by Michael Lucky.
Strong to the line.
It's a Providence tradition, Robert, to not agree with a call against your team, as most fans do.
Here's tomorrow night's ESPN NBA doubleheader. The top teams in the East square off at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, an hour up the road. Jason Tatum and the Celtics host Giannis and the Bucks. Then the Grizzlies take on Steph and the Warriors. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7. Huge game in downtown Boston. Strong makes 1 out of 2 to give BC the lead. Long field goal drought for the Friars, but remains a close game. Again, we are now 34 minutes into the game, and neither team is led by more than 4 points.
Well, interesting to see. Providence in the half court. They need Floyd to get them organized without Pierre on the floor.
Floyd turned it over.
Too tight in the middle of the floor. Got to run things through Oduro. Providence needs to use him at the top without Pierre on the floor.
Madsen step back 3. Rebound run down by McLaughlin. The shot clock to 20. Blocked on the shot by Zachary. Run out Duwall. Attacking the rim. Blocked and foul.
Both teams doing a good job on the lockdown defensively. Well, got out in transition. McLaughlin in good up top, but he got him with the body.
And he picks up his 4th foul. So McLaughlin and Post each have 4 fouls for Earl Grant and the Eagles.
So without Pierre on the floor, I said before, Providence, Floyd and Duval, certainly capable guards, but they need to run things through Oduro at the top, especially with Post on the bench. And he can be kind of a point forward out there. He's so smart. He'll make the right decision. If they space around him, he can go one-on-one from the middle of the floor. And down the other end, you know, where's BC going to go? I think it's got to be with Harris. Harris has to move without the ball. They'll get Madsen moving off some screens on the weak side. And here you see Harris bringing the ball up as the point guard. They're going to try to free him up on the perimeter.
Harris just checked into the game for Zachary. Providence retakes the lead. Madsen lost it. Oh, and then Dual dribbled it out of bounds. And they did reset the shot clock there, so it's a fresh shot clock for Boston College.
Good play, bad play by Dual. Just trying to do too much with the ball. Makes a good play defensively and then tries to go behind his back. There's no reason. Just protect, wait, and get reorganized.
And now they reset it back to 20 as they deem Dual did not have possession there.
I don't know how he didn't have possession. He dribbled it twice at least.
Probably not a huge factor, but should have definitely gone back to 30. Harris, tough shot. He's fouled.
That's good play by Claudia Harris, especially with Zachary not in the game, Post not in the game. Where are you going? Madsen can help, but he's the guy that can go get his own shot. Good job figuring that out quickly as they reorganize after the turnover.
Just over 5 minutes to go. As you see, Pierre on the bench with his career-high 18 points. Harris from the line will have 2 shots.
He's done a good job this year, evolving, as we said earlier. But not only as a scorer, distributor, a defender, a guy can go get some rebounds. And now playing a little point guard with Zachary out of the game, understanding they needed somebody just to go make a play without Zachary and Post in the game. He did a good job just creating that angle and thrusting his body at the rim to draw the foul.
Ties the game with 1 out of 2. Oduro has some space, lobs it to Castro, who jams it.
We said it before, the point forward. They didn't go through Oduro at the top. Good job finding Castro. He never had any idea what to do except he was going to look for the help to come, then he was going to give it up.
How long can Earl Grant go with Post on the bench?
He's got to be careful. He's got to watch the score, watch how they're doing on offense, and if they're staying in the game like that, he can protect them for at least the under 4. And try to go offense, defense.
Huge 3 for Elijah Strong. It's his 3rd three-pointer of the season, and it gives BC the lead.
Good job by Strong and company, just stepping up. Guys that normally don't, just making big plays. Confidence down the stretch for BC.
No hesitation for Strong there. 4 minutes to go. Floyd dribbling in on Madsen, spins, missed the layup, and the rebound, and a foul against Castro. It'll be his 4th. Good game here in Providence, Coach. You from Providence, Rhode Island. Final 4 minutes between these 2 old conference rivals, both in the Big East for decades. Now, going at it here in the first round of the NIT, first meeting in 6 years. Elijah Strong to the line, and he makes the first.
Some huge minutes here for Elijah Strong with Quentin Post, Jaden Zachary on the bench. Confident player.
A freshman from Charlotte. In the last 7 games he's played, he scored 7 points total. He now has 8 tonight. Huge points for BC. He averages 2 points a game.
He's a confident guy. We said he's been jawing with the crowd and playing like he's an experienced veteran. This is like an old Big East game back in the day. Jaden Pierre had been out for a while. Looked like maybe he was done for the game, but he went up to Kim English during those free throws and said, "I'm ready." Kim just kind of looked at him and he came back and said, "Okay, go in." So very important, but they still need to keep going through Oduro at the top, especially with Post not in the game.
Floyd's open jumper, rebounded by Oduro. Oduro spins baseline on McLaughlin, who's got 4 fouls, and flips it in.
Just powered his way, elevated over the top, without Post in the game as a rim protector. McLaughlin just doesn't have enough size to protect down low against Oduro.
Providence pulls to within 1. Double screen for Harris. He's open, he shoots it, and he scores.
He's so smooth down low. And there was nothing there. Providence closed the door, but he just dribbled back out, created a little space with those long arms and the fadeaway.
Post set to check back into the game at the next stoppage. McLaughlin guarding with 4 fouls. They double team. Pierre wanted to move the ball. There was nobody open. There's 12 to shoot.
It looked like he just wasn't ready to shoot it. He wasn't comfortable enough with that injury.
Floyd up fakes. 3 to shoot. Pierre, step back 3 at the buzzer. It's good! 21 for Jaden Pierre and a timeout.
They have to find a little space where he can make things happen, because when they go through him, everyone else becomes a better player.
Pierre has made all 3 of his threes in the second half. He's got 5 for the game and a career-high 21 points. Zachary turns the corner. This is the 17th tie of this game. Strong playing in crunch time. Strong, strongly puts it up and in. Double figures.
Through contact as well. Who is this guy? It's Strong. I love it. Strong. He's just confident here in the amp.
He averages 2 points a game. He's got 10. Second double-figure game of the season. Oduro. Fade away, blocked by Post. Under 2 minutes to go.
Providence has their big front line in as well. And time Castro, Strong just took it right to his chest.
Strong, huge 3. That might have really dismayed the guys behind us.
No, I don't think Earl Grant liked that shot. I mean, you can be confident, but you have to be smart down the stretch in this type of game.
Providence can tie or take the lead in a timeout. Before Duval shot it, Kim English uses a timeout.
I like Strong.
It's in the double bonus.
I would imagine Providence runs things through Oduro at the top of the key. That's where their offense has flowed best.
And here he goes down the lane against Post with 4 fouls, and he scores to tie the game.
Yeah, excellent timeout. Tremendous play that he called out of the timeout, and why not? You're going with your moneymaker down the middle of the floor. You're point forward. You're smart offensive player. Now Earl Grant is going to draw something up for Quentin Post.
Almost a 5-second violation. They get the timeout.
You can't play much better defense than that. And the reason he has that opportunity to go one-on-one is Providence does such a nice job with that false motion on both sides of the floor. 4 guys out on the perimeter. I think you've got to take the best shot, and that means you've got to go through posts. I would imagine they're going to run some stuff up top, dribble handoffs, or maybe the side pick and roll that they've been successful with quite a bit this evening, and see how Providence protects the lane. They've got Oduro one-on-one against Post.
They show some full court pressure. BC's got Zachary, Harris, McLaughlin, Madsen, and Post. They're starting 5. Harris, step back 3 for the lead. He got it. Huge shot, Claudell Harris.
I mean, this guy, how impressive. Second half of the season, they said big shot maker down the stretch for BC. He's a dagger man. Held them to 60 to this point, so they've got to get a good shot and then trust their defense to get a stop.
And looking ahead a bit, if they do not score, they will likely need to foul. Although the time remaining will dictate that a bit, but they need a score here. This is Duval. Lost it. It bounces to Pierre with 15 on the shot clock.
Oduro needs to touch this basketball.
Pierre going one-on-one. Pierre had it stolen away. Claudell Harris racing in for the uncontested. Oh, he missed the dunk. McLaughlin follows it. Oh, the hustle by McLaughlin. It's a 5-point lead. Providence, no timeouts left. Floyd kicks it out for Duval. Gaines, big 3. No good. Rebounded by Harris. Providence has to foul. Providence has to foul with 10 seconds left. They're going to let the clock run out here. With a 5-point lead, Providence will not foul, and that's the final. The biggest lead of the game is the final score, 62-57. BC with the big win.
There's Josh Oduro. He didn't touch the ball in that previous position.
Free 5-second instrumental interlude. Yo, check it, I'm in the kitchen cooking up a masterpiece. I'm the chef bringing flavors that'll never cease. Got my apron on, spatula in hand, flipping rhymes like I flip a pan. Whisking up words, making magic with my flow. Every verse I serve, it's like a culinary show. From the stove to the mic, I'm on fire. Mixing up metaphors, my skills never tire. I'm the rap chef, slicing through beats. Seasoned with a rhythm, every verse is a feast. From the pot to the page, I'm cooking up rhymes. A culinary wordsmith ahead of my time. I chop it up like veggies on a cutting board, crafting each line sharper than a sword. My words marinate, soak into your soul, leaving you hungry for more. That's my goal. I saute similes, grilling metaphors. My flow's so hot, it'll leave you scorched. From the appetizer to the main course, I serve up bars with unstoppable force. I'm the rap chef, slicing through beats. Seasoned with a rhythm, every verse is a feast. From the pot to the page, I'm cooking up rhymes. A culinary wordsmith ahead of my time. So next time you hear my tracks, know it ain't by chance. I'm the chef in the kitchen, bringing flavor to the dance. From the first bite to the last, you'll savor every line. I'm the rap chef, and this is my design.